welcome to the very first episode of the SDG Idea Factory podcast. My name is Roxy Ivashchenko, and I'm a part of the team here at SDG Idea Factory, a community space where people come together to share ideas, support one another, and work towards the meaningful change. This podcast is recorded in the heart of downtown Kitchener, inside the space that's anything but ordinary. The SDG Idea Factory is where passion meets purpose. A creative collaborative hub filled with people and organizations working towards a better world, one idea at a time. Before we dive in, I want to introduce you to the voice you'll be hearing throughout this podcast, our wonderful host, Caroline Nessner. She'll be sitting down with some incredible guests to talk about the work they're doing to support the SDGs and make lasting impact in our community and beyond. So thanks for coming along, and let's get started.
Okay, good morning. We are here at the SDG Idea Factory. Today we are recording our first podcast with our wonderful guest, Justin Chan, who's the Executive Director at the Community Company, one of our tenants in our building. Thank you for being here, Justin. We're so happy to have you. And just to kick things off, it would be great if you could introduce yourself and a little bit about your work.
Yeah, my name is Justin Chan. As Caroline mentioned, I am the Executive Director of the Community Company. I love what we do here at the SDG Idea Factory, and so any opportunity for me to support the work, I'm always more than happy to. In terms of what we do, sort of in one sentence, we work with nonprofits to build sustainable revenue streams through initiatives like social enterprise.
Now, if you were at a party, what would be your non-status quo answer that you would give somebody in maybe not that language if they weren't familiar?
I mean, I guess it depends on the type of people I'm at a party with. I think to the broad public, I would say something like, we work with nonprofits to build revenue models. And I think that kind of gets people thinking. If I'm around people who are more business oriented, I might mention something like we work with charities to build revenue models so then they can be self-sustaining. And if I'm around people who are more community-oriented, more advocates, I may say something like we help charities achieve their vision through generating undesignated revenue so then they can keep doing the good that they're doing. Just to anyone, I would say, we worked on cool projects. Like we worked with Cambridge Shelter to make a landscaping company that employs people at the shelter. And so I'd like to say I describe it differently every single time. I love what I do, and it kind of just comes out naturally depending on the type of person I'm talking with and the types of things that they're interested in. I'd like to think we have a lot of different projects that we've created that kind of resonate with all types of people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sounds like you'd fit in at a lot of different parties. And it's great that you can speak to it. You can tell how passionate you are about it and what you're doing, and great read of the room and the type of person you're talking to understand what they may need to hear to understand what you do succinctly. So that's great. Thank you. How do you see your work making a difference here in Waterloo Region or your local community?
I think at the highest level, what I want to be doing is creating opportunities for everyday community members like you and I to sustainably contribute to the nonprofit sector. And so donations are one way that any of us can help make a difference in our community. Volunteering is another way. And what we're trying to create through the Community Company and through our charity partners is a way for consumers to make change through their everyday purchases. And so, for example, rather than purchasing from a for-profit conglomerate, it's the opportunity to invest their money into the community by purchasing something that a nonprofit has created. And the goal is to create things like everyday items that we'll need anyway, whether it's landscaping services, sewing classes, alterations, photography services. We really want to be creating a portfolio of opportunities for our community members to purchase from. That's the concept of social procurement. It's the idea of using your money to do more good rather than just purchase the thing you need.
That's amazing. Just as a follow-up question, how would a community member, like say for myself, first of all, it's great to even be thinking about that when I'm going to purchase something, am I purchasing in a sustainable form? But second of all, what type of awareness do you bring and socialize so that people like you and I actually know that, these type of what you're doing exists and that this type of way of shopping exists. I feel people are familiar with, they think it's sustainable shopping or I'm shopping local, but this seems like a deeper level and it supports community. And I'm just wondering, how do you raise awareness and education so that the community knows about this?
Mm-hmm. And to your point, a lot of it is marketing, which is why it's great that places like the Idea Factory exist for us to promote our work and promote our partners' work. I would say broadly, it kind of falls in two different categories. For nonprofits that are already doing some sort of social enterprise, we often work with them to refine it, to maybe improve their revenue model, to improve their social impact model, as well as help them amplify the work that they're doing. So whether that's doing business partnerships that they haven't explored before or introducing new revenue streams, we're really helping the nonprofit amplify their awareness and therefore generate more revenue, which therefore helps them do more good in the community. And then for nonprofits and charities that are new to social enterprise, we'll work with them to figure out what that revenue model could be. Are there existing programs within their nonprofit that they're really excited about? Are there existing programs that perhaps make a really good and natural business opportunity for them because it can integrate community involvement in some way, whether, again, it's through the offering of classes or the creation of some sort of product or service. Maybe they're already creating a product or service, but it just hasn't been presented to the community as a package and marketed in such a way that community members can understand and see as value. And so I think that's a big part of the work that we do.
Awesome. I like that ripple effect of organizations that are already having a revenue model and how they can amplify it to the community, as well as your ability and your important work to help the other organizations that are new to actually get started with that revenue model. I think that's so important and obviously a big significant portion of what you do. Just curious, what made you move into the SDG Idea Factory or spark your interest or drew you to the space?
What drew us to this space originally was being able to be in a space with like-minded community members. And so not only is this a place where we can have our meetings and we can meet with clients, it's a space that we can feel proud of to tell others that we're part of. And it's really it's really awesome to see the different community groups that come in through the doors, to be able to have conversations and even recognize people. I think that the SDG Idea Factory has curated a list of a community of people who really believe in the work that we do, and to be able to come to the office and bump into friends that I know, colleagues that I've worked with, and even nonprofits that we work with. It feels really great to have everything all under one roof, and to see a space of this kind in Canada. I think that this is new, and this type of initiative will likely catch on more and more over the next little while. So to be able to be part of a space like this and to help the movement forward really aligns with my personal passions, but also the organization's beliefs as well and values.
Great. Yeah, it sounds very aligned for you, and we're so happy to have you here as an engaged tenant. That only helps to activate the space more. Like you said, running into people, meeting people here that you've done previous work with, or meeting someone here that you haven't met before that, we talked to and we're able to send your way, I think is a really great way to work together. And we really appreciate having you here and the work that you're doing. So thanks for sharing that. What's something exciting or meaningful that you're working on right now that you'd love for more people to know about?
That's a tough question, because there isn't sort of that one thing, right? Again, it really depends on the conversation that I'm having in the moment with the person. So I guess since I'm having a conversation with you, something that I think is meaningful to share are our sewing classes. And so we're working with Adventure for Change, which is a charitable organization in North Waterloo. They work with community members to help them activate their potential. And one of the new initiatives we've created is with their Moms Sewing Program. And so during the pandemic, many of the newcomer moms in the community felt like they wanted a third space to hang out and to regather as restrictions were opening up. And so they created a sewing program. And now this is an unfunded program through Adventure for Change, which means they rely on donations and resources from the community to make this sewing program happen. And it's so much more than a sewing program. It's a place where people share conversations, share stories, work on sewing projects, complement each other on their sewing projects, and really build community around the art of sewing. And so A project that has really excited me is the social enterprise that we've created out of it, which is Basadi Sewing. And so this is offering the newcomer moms in our community an opportunity to educate the next generation through sewing. And so we're offering public beginner sewing classes for people who have an interest in sewing. Perhaps it's through wanting to upcycle some of their clothing. Perhaps it's wanting to use their sewing machine that they've had in their basement for many years. Or perhaps it's because a family member taught them how to sew, but they forgot some of the fundamentals. And so it's been really cool to see the evolution of Basadi Sewing because the moms who are teaching the classes are gaining more confidence, gaining more skills. It's cool to see all the different products that come out of the classes. And so I was there a few weeks ago and I saw students working on these string tote bags, and you can see the pride on the students' faces as they created this tote bag, knowing that they didn't have to purchase something, knowing that they made it themselves, and you can guarantee that that's going to be their favorite tote bag for many years. And I can actually say that because I made one of those tote bags and I still wear it, and every time I'm biking I'm wearing that tote bag proudly, or string bag, sorry. And so that's just one of the many initiatives we're doing, and I think it's one of those things where when you're working on multiple projects at once, you might lose sight of, the individual projects and the individual impacts that you're making, which is why I love having conversations on what we do, because, so many of these projects are more than just projects. They're stories. They're a lot of mini moments that sort of make up the project. And so, Basadi Sewing is one, of the many projects that we're working on that, I love sharing about.
That's awesome. Really inspiring, the fact that the newcomer moms that have come together are able to, first of all, gain their community back, and secondly, to influence future generations and other people that are learning from them. I think that's a huge part of that and really inspiring to hear. And aside from that, the students themselves, like you said about your tote bag, often in this type of economy and where we live and how much excess things that we have, a bag can just be a bag, and you toss it away. And so for that to be something that comes sustainably, without charge, and then also, like you mentioned, you wear it with pride because you made it. It sounds like something that all these students will keep around, and so it hits so many targets of sustainability, but also passion and just a sense of community and being, and just a huge sense of purpose. So I think that's really incredible project, and that's amazing, really inspiring. And also for the, I think most people know, sewing seems to be something that is just kind of leaving, because if, there's many different projects or arts like that, because people knew how to sew and they sewed for generations. And because that skill didn't get passed on, I can say for certain, I have no idea how to sew. And my Nana was an avid sewer. And so I never learned that. And then it just, it kind of goes obsolete in those ways. So to have also that purpose of them being able to carry on this craft is so inspiring, and I'm sure very rewarding as well. So.
And I think that's the joy of social enterprise. It goes so much beyond the actual dollar spent. But to your point, it's about the community that is built around it. It's the feelings that are created around it. Knowing that you're doing something where every partner involved is excited and they have something they benefit from it. We're offering employment for community members. We're revitalizing a craft that we're excited about. We're able to tell our friends the story about it and tell it authentically, because we know that we're supporting a charity and that charity is doing good in the community. And so the ripple effect that comes from a social enterprise goes so much beyond the initial transaction. And I think that's the joy of doing this work, and also the joy of seeing people participate in this work and be customers of social enterprises that we've created.
Yeah, that's incredible. There's so much purpose around the whole project, and like you said, for everyone involved, including yourself. So that must feel very rewarding every day. Going off of that onto a new project, let's talk about In Our Backyard. Can you tell us what makes this new initiative stand out, and some of the stories or impact that you've seen? I'm not sure yet with In Our Backyard how new it is, but just to share that with us. I know it's a new project for you.
Mm-hmm. In Our Backyard was a project we officially launched in May of 2023. We started doing research for it in 2022, but it went public as of 2023. It is a social enterprise we created in partnership with Cambridge Shelter. So Cambridge Shelter is a men's shelter in Cambridge, Ontario, and they support people with their journey getting out of homelessness. And the reason we created it was because as the shelter journeyed with individuals and supported them to move into housing, one of the questions they asked was, once we moved our clients into housing, is there more we can do? What are some of our clients struggling with when they move into housing? And is there an activity that we can do to sort of break the cycle of homelessness to ensure people stay housed and out of the shelter system? And so one of the things we learned as we were interviewing community members and some of the clients who stayed at the shelter, the theme that kept coming up was the lack of purpose and struggle to find employment. And so if someone fell back into the shelter system, it was often because they struggled to find something meaningful and perhaps fell back onto old habits. And so what we created within our backyard was a low barrier employment opportunity for people to gain work skills, gain work experience, and find something purposeful to do as they're in this critical part of their life, which is moving into more permanent housing. And so In Our Backyard launched in 2023 as a pilot. 2024, we grew to, I believe, 2 crews simultaneously. And from what I'm hearing in our 3rd year, it's even more successful. We've been able to employ over 40 unique individuals. So these are people who are either actively in the shelter system or have graduated from Cambridge Shelter. And so to know that we've been able to make an impact on that many lives is really what In Our Backyard is all about. It offers landscaping services, so whether that's edging, mulching, landscaping projects. What's funny was when we first created the project, we thought we would be doing simple lawn mowing, edging, and sort of activities that were less labor intensive. And what we quickly learned was that the capacity of the team was significantly higher. And in our first year, we ended up installing a wheelchair ramp in a backyard to a pond in partnership with the landscaping company. And I believe we installed full trees as well. So there was full backyard renovations and revitalizations that we were doing. And so that was year 1. I believe in year 2, we had some strong partnerships with the region of Waterloo and the city of Cambridge in terms of doing some of their landscaping and maintenance work as well. And so it's been really cool to see the project evolve from our perspective. But again, there's so many stories we're hearing from the landscaping crew lead, her name is Brenda, in terms of the impact that we've been able to make. So in terms of impact, we're talking, guys who are now being referred to landscaping companies and actually getting full-time work there. We're talking about guys who joined Brenda at landscaping conventions, and to be able to talk about the work that we do proudly and to be able to wear the uniform and say, this is what we do, this is the impact that we're making, and to be able to also talk to some of our customers, right? And our customers are the ones that feel most proud about the work that we do because they can actually see the community members come to their property, do a professional job, and sort of have that win-win feeling. What's really cool with the name In Our Backyard as well, one of the challenges we heard from clients of Cambridge Shelter was they felt a lot of that not in my backyard mentality, in that they didn't feel integrated in the community. They didn't feel welcomed. And so when we created and designed In Our Backyard, we created that name In Our Backyard as a way to sort of quite literally welcome people into their backyard. And so we think that with every landscaping project we do, we're changing the narrative on homelessness, one lawn at a time, because we're showing community members that those who are overcoming homelessness have abilities and have the ability to contribute meaningfully to the community if given the chance, right? And that not only impacts the person and who hired us, but that also shows the neighborhood what In Our Backyard can do. And it sort of becomes this slow-moving change where we're starting to shift the narrative. And of course, it's one of the many activities we're doing to change narratives on homelessness. And so In Our Backyard is a project that I'm really proud of because it is now in its 3rd year and it's still rolling and it's still growing. And there's been a lot of exciting learnings that we've had from that project that we've then been able to apply to our sewing project or our tool library project or all the other initiatives that we're working on right now with other nonprofits in the Waterloo region.
That's incredible work, and so true about the win-win. I think it's very easy for a service that somebody may hire for, getting their lawn work done, lawn care done, and maybe realize, I should be out there doing it myself. I don't need to be doing this, or I don't need to be hiring someone to do it. But then knowing if you're, working within our backyard, it is that truly that win-win. You are having a service done, but it feels like it's in that meaningful way where you're also contributing back, and to keep that relationship, nurtured and growing. They're obviously having interactions with the person who's working in their yard, and exactly like you hit on, that they are truly in their backyard. So it's not only that they're, out in the community engaging with community members, but they are actually working in a more personal way at their property. So that's incredible. And are you saying then anybody can reach out to, do they just go to In Our Backyard? Is there a website, and that anybody can reach out there to start getting lawn care services?
Yeah, that's right. If you go on In Our Backyard's website, you can leave a deposit and book a service. And if you're on the community company's website, we have a tab called Social Enterprise where we've listed all of the projects that we've worked on, and we've linked to their websites as well. One quick thing I want to add also about In Our Backyard and broadly social enterprises, and this connects to the SDG Goal 17 partnerships for the goal. When we create these social enterprises, we're not creating it to compete with other businesses. We're creating it as an opportunity to partner. We really think that as a community, there is so much opportunity to create win-win initiatives, and it's not about dividing the pie. We truly believe that we can expand the pie and create new opportunities for everyone that sort of uplift the entire community. And so a perfect example of that is within our backyard, because there were some initiatives that we felt like we weren't able to do as a team. And so we perhaps didn't have the right heavy equipment, or we didn't have the skill set to deliver on the project. And that's where partnerships for the goals come in. There are a few landscaping companies that we have regular partnerships with, where if we feel like we get a job that's slightly outside of our skill set, we'll collaborate with them and bring them into the project as well, and work together to achieve the outcome that we want. And so I think that alongside creating these initiatives are opportunities for business owners to collaborate, to work together, to create something greater than the sum of its parts. And that's another exciting piece about the work that we're doing with Social Enterprise, is to really uplift all communities, whether that's those that we serve, whether it's the charities, but also the business community as well, to get together and create something exciting that achieves all of our goals.
Yeah, and you add in that third party there in terms of the other companies, the other landscaping companies, that gives them incredible meaning and purpose as well to contribute, and have them think in that way rather than just, the individual who's purchasing the lawn care service at home, that they feel like they're contributing, but to partner with those other companies to reinforce and come back stronger with what you're able to do and be able to do even more, achieve even more for the community is, I'm glad that you added it in, because I first thought of it as in, if I support this over this, this feels more meaningful, but that there's actually a way that we can all work on that together and uplift those communities or the companies as well, and that they can also join in on these contributions as well. So that's amazing work. Just incredible to hear. So thank you so much for sharing that. I'm absolutely going to be checking that out after this. So let's fast forward to next year. What's your dream scenario for how these collaborations grow, or shaking more things up in the region like you've been doing?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, there's so many answers to that question. I've been doing a lot of reading, studying on this topic. I would say that the next evolution for the social enterprises that we've created already is really getting into social procurement partnerships with the government, with institutions. So social procurement is the idea of choosing to use our business expenditures to not only achieve the business goal, but to also maximize the impact that it can create as well. And so institutions like universities, corporations, but also the government, so the Region of Waterloo, City of Kitchener, City of Cambridge, they have an opportunity to change the way they spend to support initiatives like this, right? And when you, for example, let's say, to bring a different example this time, one of our initiatives, Basadi Sewing, we're also offering sewing services to the public. And so let's say the city of Kitchener or the city of Waterloo is looking for unique gifts for people who visit, or perhaps it's year-end giving and wanting to give gifts to donors. Hiring an organization like Basadi Sewing to purchase, whether it's a custom-made tote bag or whether it's scrunchies or whatever it may be, book covers, it achieves the goal that you're trying to achieve, which is purchasing something to give away to community members, but it also then provides income for a nonprofit to then be able to do more good. And so the idea of social procurement has been around for a while, and I think social enterprise makes a very interesting offer to a lot of these institutions and government organizations to accept it. And so part of what we're trying to do as the community company is put together those packages and those offers to those partners to be able to see the value of purchasing goods and services from an organization like Basadi Sewing, like KW Library of Things, like In Our Backyard, instead of other partners. And again, there's collaboration involved as well, because often these purchases involve then hiring of businesses to help us with it. So for example, with Basadi Sewing, it'll likely involve shopping at Lens Mills to get materials for those crafts, to just pick a very specific example. So I think that in the next year, that's something we really want to be pushing through the community company as well as through our social enterprises that we're creating. But broadly, going beyond a year, our vision with the community company is to create as many of these social enterprises as possible and slowly replace household expenses with a social enterprise alternative. We want every single day-to-day expense that you would have as a household to be able to be replaced with something local and replaced with something that is created by a charity. So whether it's meals, whether it's services, we want to be able to have social enterprises that meet every need of our household expenditures. And that's a way to really support local, right? That's the way we actually keep money in our community, because every dollar that we spend not only stays in the community, but goes to a nonprofit that is then serving the community further. And it's a way to extend the impact of our dollar. And so beyond a year, I think that's really the goal with the community company, to be able to keep building these social enterprises and raise awareness for it and have community members be able to support it in the ways that they can, whether they are a business, whether they're an institution, or whether they're a customer, or maybe a beneficiary as well of our social enterprises.
You're already on the great track for that vision. So I think, like you've mentioned, some of these projects you've done have put you in the place now, brought you to this place where you're able to focus on this social procurement, go bigger to these institutions that are actually able to amplify what you're doing and make that voice even, go further so that more people can learn about what you're doing, and then still working towards having so many more of these social enterprises that continue to work on all of those day-to-day items. So all of these projects that you're doing are so incredible. For anybody else listening, and thinking this sounds really awesome, because I know I am, how do they get involved and what should they do next?
Yeah, for people who are excited about the idea of social enterprise and want to learn more, you can visit our website at www.communitycompany.org. There's a section on social enterprises, and it highlights all of the different projects that we've created. If there are nonprofits and charities who are excited about the idea of social enterprise, they can send me a message, and I'm happy to have a conversation to share more about the initiatives we've created. Beyond social enterprise, we've started doing program evaluations as well as strategic planning. A lot of our charity partners enjoy working with us, and they've asked us to do other things. And so evaluation comes very natural with social enterprise, because then it allows us to really create an impact report and an evaluation report on the initiatives that we're doing. And then finally, I think community members who are excited, it's really talking about it, right? Bringing up ideas like social enterprise, social procurement to their places of work, to the organizations that they're part of, and spreading the word. Social enterprise isn't new, but I do think that we are thinking about it differently as a community now, and we have an exciting opportunity to really lean on the Support Canada movement, the Support Local movement, to really include supporting charities through our day-to-day expenses as well. And so I really encourage everyone to just keep talking about it, and through podcasts like this and through conversations like this, it's a great opportunity for me and my organization to get the conversation started. But there's many other organizations that are doing this work, and it's one of those fun rabbit holes where the more you research, the more you get excited about it. And so I would encourage people to just keep talking.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin. And yeah, exactly. It sounds like it's on, if everybody's listening, it's up to all of us to continue to check out Justin's work. And not only that, to learn more about social enterprises, learn about how you can support them. Obviously, Justin's a place we can all start, and community company is a great place to be looking up to, and also thinking about all of the choices that we are making every day. So we really appreciate this conversation. I'm certainly excited to check all of these things out and learn more about your work. I know we already knew a lot about it here at the SDG Idea Factory, but I certainly learned more today and am very excited for you and what's to come for the community company and following along for the journey. So thank you for being here today, and that's it.